This lecture video is about modeling with exponential functions. And so basically it's doing word problems, and the word problems that we're going to be doing have the equation given right in them for the most part. So in our first example, the rabbit population in a forest grows at a rate of 4% monthly. If there are 220 rabbits in August, find how many rabbits should be expected by next August. Use y equals 220 times 2.7 raised to the 0.04t and round to the nearest whole number. So the number that we can expect by next August, that's when the number of months is equal to 12. And so really is all we're doing here is replacing the t with 12. So y equals 220, and then that's times 2.7 raised to the 0.04 times 12. So now in order to do this on your calculators, I'll just bring up my calculator on my computer screen here. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my 2.7. And every calculator is slightly different here, and then I'm going to hit this XY button, and that automatically brings up this little caret symbol, which means to raise something to a power. And then inside the parentheses, so I'm going to put a parenthesis next, and inside the parenthesis I'm going to do the multiplication, the 0.04 times 12. And then I'm going to close my parenthesis off. And then, so what's on my calculator right now is this exponent, and then I hit the equal sign, and I get what 2.7 raised to the 0.04 times 12 is. So what's in my calculator right now is this 2.7 raised to this power. So now the last thing we need to do is multiply by 220. So we're going to hit times 220, and hit equals again, and we get 354.39. 354.39, and they want us to round to the nearest whole number. And so that would be 354. So next August there will be 354 rabbits. Okay, our next example is involving compound interest. And so our formula is a equals p times the quantity 1 plus r divided by n raised to the nt power. So the big thing with this one is remembering what all of these numbers are. R is your interest rate. N is the number of times you compound in a year. And T is the number of years. So these are the things that you'll need to remember, and also capital P is the principal. Oops. Or also starting value. Okay, so let's read our word problem. We have Jared borrows $3,750 at a rate of 10.5%, compounding monthly. Find how much Jared owes at the end of 3 years, and we're going to round to the nearest cent. And one other letter that we didn't talk about, I guess, in that formula was A, and that's the amount. Okay, so A is the accumulated amount, or the amount that's in the account after however much time we're talking about. And so A for us is going to be what we're calculating, and their principal or starting value is what I borrow at the beginning, or what Jared borrows, which is that $3,750. And then times 1 plus R, our interest rate, is 10.5, but we want to write the interest rate as a decimal, and 10.5% as a decimal is 0.105. And then divided by n. N is the number of times we're compounding, and it says that we are compounding monthly. Monthly means 12 times in a year. And then that's raised the nt power. N is 12, and the number of years is 3. So you want to try to do this calculation in your calculator without doing any kind of rounding, because a little bit of rounding when you're raising something to the 36th power can create some big errors in your answer. So you don't want to do any rounding at all when you're calculating these. So start inside your parentheses. You need to follow order of operations. And so we're going to do this fraction first, because you do multiplication and division before addition. So 0.105, and then we're going to divide that by 12, and then add 1. So now, with the number I have in my calculator is the number inside the parentheses. I need to raise that to the 36th power. So, however, you have to do that on your calculator. And then I hit enter. So now what's in my calculator is all of this stuff. And so I just have to multiply by the 3,750 now. And so we get $5,131. Okay, 51.31. And then 44 cents. Okay, so after 3 years, Jared owes $5,131.44. And that is our last problem. I thought we had one more, but that finishes up our examples for this section. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.